I am so delighted to be joined today by G, the marketing director from Blushes, as we're about to discuss a very exciting partnership between Cheltenham Wellbeing Festival, between Live Life Well, our umbrella brand, and Blushes, as I think we both go through this massive transitory period, which we've all have to adapt and get more resilience from the wonderful wonders that have come along with COVID-19. But G, tell me, first of all, blushes are changing. How are they changing and why are you changing?
So, I think this time, or, particularly the last 12 months, have been really challenging for individuals, for businesses, really kind of tough time. Just in our industry alone, there's been 4,000 salon closures across the UK. So, not just for in lockdown, but, that's kind of it. So it's tough time for people, but it's also been a really positive time to reflect. Again, as an individual, what do you want to do with your life, but also as a business. So we kind of spent the last 12 months really asking ourselves some kind of difficult questions. What are we not doing well? What can we do better? How can we better serve our team to make sure that their careers are taking steps forward? We surveyed our clients as well as our teams as well. And what's kind of come out of that is a renewed focus on both people, our clients and our team, in equal measure. And the environment within which they exist. So our kind of core purpose now going forward is to create dynamic environments where people come to flourish. So, you come and get your hair done, hopefully you flourish because you absolutely love what your hair looks like and you walk out feeling amazing. And then equally our team flourish because, we're empowering them within their jobs. So all of this is going to become more clear in the spring because we've got a brand launch coming, which is great. We are Blushes and we'll stay Blushes, but we've got a really cool, fresh new look, and also some really exciting changes to our infrastructure coming. We've got an industry-changing training initiative that we'll be launching as well. So yeah, some really kind of exciting times that have come out of that reflective period for us.
It sounds like you're right on the edge, right on the cusp of something really exciting forming. And I feel like you've embraced what so many of us are now feeling in lockdown. It's that sense that self-care is not selfish. It's actually essential, especially for us to get through this. It's about building our resilience. And you remember the red lipstick phenomenon where, when we're in the worst depression ever, we go and we buy a red lipstick. And it's not the fact that it's, red lippy, nice. It's about how it makes us feel. And I really feel like the change in Blushes, you've always been about aesthetics, like the beautiful hair, the styles, but now it's about expressing that in a whole kind of 360-degree fashion, isn't it? So when a woman or a man comes into the salon, they don't just leave with a good haircut, which instantly makes them feel like that bit of confidence and kind of bit of va-va-voom. They also have a takeaway which they can put into their everyday life with things like you're talking about adding on extra well-being experiences. And I also think, it's an escape from our work stresses, isn't it? We're all at home at the moment. We're all desperate to go out, or we're desperately trying to get our jobs. And what you offer, what you're saying about this experience when you walk into a salon, is a complete escape from that reality and entering that self-nurture, that self-nourishing, and also that kind of replenishment. I feel like it's a replenishment of the you that you're trying to bring across. Would you agree with that? And is there anything else that you feel like I might have missed that you're trying to get people to walk out of that door feeling or having taken on board?
Well, I think, when people get their hair done, great hair work is an expectation. Great customer service and feeling welcome is an expectation. So many kind of businesses will tout that as a unique selling point, but actually we never go to a restaurant and order a expensive steak and expect it to come half cooked or to be grunted at by the waiter. So going in and coming out with the outcome that's that's desired, having caught up with someone who you have a personal relationship with is super important. And I think that what's kind of happening at the moment is this amazing transition for hair and beauty, where it's previously been, considered a vanity project, actually being totally inextricably linked with how we feel inside.
I think you're totally right. I think, there is research to prove that if you are made to feel good about yourself, your brain you are happier, you are a more confident person, you have purpose. I know if I've had a really good blow dry, and the thing you brought out then was the team, and I've had a chat with someone who is genuinely interested in me, I leave feeling empowered and like, actually, if I was feeling a little bit underconfident or didn't feel like I could achieve something, I feel like I can. And I think there's such a psychological aspect behind hair and beauty now. It's seen so much more as that kind of like development of self than rather this kind of vanity project, that people are taking it seriously. So when it comes to the Blushes team, how are you training them to make them these unique individuals?
So, we definitely have kind of Blushes standards that kind of help to create this Blushes feeling that we talk about in the experience. Currently they go through a 3-year training when they're younger to do their apprenticeship, and then we do different levels of training once they're with us. We also have something called Hair ID or Hair Identity, which kind of doubles up as training for our team, but also is an amazing experience for our clients. So it's a complimentary consultation service. So if you come in as a new client, you'll always have one. If you're looking to make a big change, you'll have one as well. And what it does is it looks at 5 aspects of that individual. So, we're not just churning out the same hair for everyone. It's totally unique to you as a person, and we have to train and empower our teams to have that knowledge, to give that Blushes feeling. So, one of the steps is lifestyle. So for example, I've got a bleach up. This is a very high maintenance hairstyle, hair color to have. And if I was someone who swam every day, this would not suit me. This would not suit my lifestyle. And therefore our team would have the knowledge and the education not to recommend that. Also things like color choice. So Hair ID was actually designed with Michelle Blake O'Brien. So she's a fashion stylist. She's based locally, but she's got associates all over the place. She always looks fabulous every time I see her, and her knowledge is second to none. But we will take into consideration your wardrobe, and if we open up your wardrobe, what will we see in there? What colors will we see in there? We'll work out whether your skin tone is warm or cool, and that will all have an impact on what the outcome of your hair is like. But it's a twofold process, because the client gets what they want and is able to communicate what they want, as well as our teams being empowered and having that knowledge and confidence to deliver the best hair work that they can.
You really take the time to understand the person that walks through the door, don't you? And from what you said there, it's, when you're looking at clothes, you're also automatically going to be looking at their life, their family, their work, their hobbies. It's like you're creating this complete thing. I mean, people think, oh, just hair. You're saying, no, I'm looking at a person from their very roots, from their very essence of who they are, and building that back up to find a hair that actually is going to fit in with them and be them. There are certain aspects. If you go grey, you are going to have to change your hair colour. If you want to, or you can embrace the grey. I guess you're trying to dress a personality, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of in the word hair identity. You know, how we look is an expression of how we feel.
And
So
that's fascinating you should say that, because this elusive there's been a lot of research in this lockdown that has said, because people don't feel like they have control over their lives, because people feel like, you know, we have our one exercise a day, we shop alone, we work from home, they are trying to find ways to express themselves individually, because as human beings, that is what we are. We aren't these one size fit all boxes. We desire to showcase who we are. So makeup, for example, has apparently become a lot more expressive. People are playing more. People are trying to experiment with how it comes across. And I have seen so many things with hair. I've seen pink hair appear everywhere and purple hair, because people want to play. There's that human innate desire to play. And if you can't physically go and play, you're going to look at your body, your hair, your makeup, and try and express that playfulness and that feeling of freedom through there, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. Have you watched Fleabag?
No, well, I watched the first series and was a massive fan, and I don't know why, but I haven't. It's almost like, because I know that it's going to end, I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it. Yeah, this actually in season 2, there's a scene where Claire's kind of, you know, having a crisis in her life, and like you said about the red lipstick, you know, quite often people will do a drastic change to their hair. You know, they feel like then they're in control, they feel that like they're empowered, and so Claire goes and has what is quite a drastic haircut, which has an actual awful outcome. It's not what she wanted at all. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge kind of storms into the salon and gives this epic monologue about how hair is everything. And that again epitomizes that it's part of your identity, it's part of who you are. And sometimes, you know, when you're not feeling great, actually making a difference to that can make you feel fantastic.
And also, oh God, I've got to watch it now. You've definitely sold it to me. Look, from that hair monologue as well. Also, it's that kind of, it's almost ritualistic, isn't it? When I mean, I hate doing it because it takes so long to blow dry this, but when I sit and do my hair, it just takes out the noise of everything else. You're focusing, you're concentrating. So it's an escape from whatever's going on in your brain. It's a ritual, it's a self-care practice, and it's this form of expression. Now, we've talked about how blinking important good hair is. What is happening to people's hair over lockdown? I know this has been done to death in articles, you know, all through the press, because women and men as well are like, oh my gosh, how do you keep your hair fresh and clean and beautiful and buoyant as if you're in a salon? What would be your top tips? No pressure.
No, 3 top tips. Okay, definitely number 1 is put the kitchen scissors away, step away from the kitchen scissors, and step away from the box dye. You know, this is the perfect time to let your hair recover. You know, if you don't have to go out and you don't have to blow dry your hair every day and put heat on it, now is the time to maybe wash it less frequently, but definitely leave the skill set of cutting and dyeing hair to the experts would be my number 1 tip. My second tip, and I'm a total convert, because prior to working at Blushes, I probably visited a salon once a year. I never used professional hair care. And, you know, I didn't always condition my hair. I didn't put heat protect on it, that kind of thing. I cannot explain how important professional hair care is. And I know it seems like
I can't not. I am not a once a year girl. I'm totally with you there. Totally different.
Yeah. So pro hair care. I know it will seem like it's a hard sell in the salon, or it seems like it's an upsell or just a way to make more money, but it really does work. You know, this is one of the harshest things you can do to your hair. But because I'm using the right hair care for my hair type, which your hairdresser will be able to tell you, you know, it's in great condition. So step away from trying to do hairdressing at home, use professional hair care. And also things like, don't use elastic bands. Try and use those kind of plastic coil hair bands if you are going to put your hair up. Yes, there we go. Elastic bands can be quite harsh. We've actually got a really great winter hair care 101 blog on the website at the moment, which kind of gives you. So if you head over to our website, there's a tab called News. And if you go on there, we've got loads of things from winter hair care. We've got a blog post from nutritionist Kate Dimmer, who I know you guys work with. She's a client in Cirencester, and she's written about how to eat for the winter season to look after your hair, nail, and skin in between appointments. You'll find all sorts, how to wear green for different hair colors. We're really taking a whole new kind of lifestyle approach to our content. We don't just want it to be about hair and beauty, because we think it's all about the holistic approach. It's about everything.
Excuse the pun, but it's just, you're not making it flat and two-dimensional, are you? You're getting a nice bouncy blow.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? It's like
Yeah.
everything, because food is so important, isn't it? And the clothes you wear make your hair pop or make you feel good, and the makeup. And we're obviously really excited to be working with you, because we've got this Wellbook, which is our wonderful local practitioners, our community, and we just love the fact that you want to celebrate during lockdown, especially all these local businesses who are doing these wonderful things for well-being, who are trying to support their families by making a living as well, and you want to incorporate that within the Blushes package. So we're actually going to be working to put forward some amazing practitioners for your social media, so your clients will be able to access all these other avenues which they may not have before considered, which actually does directly relate to hair in some form. So, I mean, we've discussed a dance movement psychotherapist, and it's about getting the stress and strains out of your body. It's exactly what you do when you have a blow dry. You are expressing yourself in a different way. I know if I wake up and I've got really frizzy hair, I'm in a low mood, I'm stressed. If I go and have a lovely blow dry, I want to dance, I want to move and express myself in a totally different way. Food as well, so linked to your keratin, isn't it? The protein in your hair. And again, things that you might not have considered as well, just like working from home. You only have to do one bit of your hair, really, don't you? To try and reach the back, you're doing God knows
Yeah.
to your shoulders. So how do you then stretch out your chest and shoulders? I mean, I'm learning what you hairdressers must go through with your backache.
Yeah, I mean, God, they, stand on their feet all day, 5 days a week. It's incredible. And every time someone sits in their chair, they are the only person, within that hour and a half, 2 hours, however long they're there. I think lockdown really has proved that they've got an incredible skill set. Prior to that, people thought, hairdressing, I could do that. I could cut someone's hair, or I could color someone's hair, and it just goes horribly wrong. So they really are, experts in their field.
So your 3 top tips are essentially trust the experts, trust the experts, trust the experts. Don't use the good products. And what is the longest somebody should leave to wash their hair? And then I bet I've done worse. How long can you get away with not washing your hair for?
Well, I think, if you're using dry shampoo, probably squeeze a couple of extra days out there, but it really will just depend. Everyone kind of, has different kind of skin types, whether it's like combination of oily. It's exactly the same with your scalp. So I can't go very long without washing my hair. But I have got oily skin, whereas some people who kind of have dry or combination could probably get away with, 3-4 days beyond what I can. But dry shampoo, that for me is one of my must-haves.
It's a game changer, absolute game changer.
And also what is a game changer is if you actually apply it the night before you go to bed. So then by the time you've woken up, it's done the job and absorbed the oil, but it's not got that kind of dusty look to it.
That is a top tip there. We'll definitely be stealing
top tip.
Top tip. from G. So
Yeah.
I guess to wrap up, when this world does go back to normal, and obviously we're doing all this work with the local community and our practitioners, what will the Blushes experience be? When a customer walks in, what will they be greeted with and how will they leave?
Gosh, I mean, we're kind of all really dreaming of a world where, everyone's safe so that we can get rid of, all the PPE that currently the stylists are having to wear, that the clients are having to wear. All of these things that are creating barriers between the client and the stylist. They're still doing an excellent job of maintaining those relationships despite, their mouths being covered when they're talking. So, for us, the Blushes experience starts before you've even hit the salon. For us, through our marketing, through the content that we're giving you, hopefully, we're inspiring you to try new things, or we're kind of bringing you new information or new trends that you haven't heard about. And then when you walk through the door, we want people to flourish. And, coming back to that purpose, our purpose is to create dynamic environments where people come to flourish. And whether that's you're coming to have your hair done or you're coming to work for the day, we want everyone to leave happy.
And also you want that well-being perspective to then be continued once they leave, which is why you've got all this, like you said, when they walk in, when they leave. I think that's just perfect. And to finish, we always do this with our Live Life Well interviews. What are your 3 top tips to live life well?
Oh, wow. Okay, so I would probably say listen to yourself and what you need in that moment. I think that will change, potentially day to day, potentially week on week. How are your energy levels? Do you need to go to bed earlier? Maybe don't work out today. Definitely listen to yourself and stay in your lane. Other people don't know what you need, only you do. I'd say practice. So, practice a skincare routine. Yoga and meditation is a practice. You reap the rewards by doing it consistently. People practice religion. People practice going to therapy every single week. So I would say it's the kind of consistency of being kind to yourself, which will kind of help in those moments of crisis, because life does happen. So kind of giving yourself that kind of fundamental level of self-care. And my last one would be do things that bring the joy. So I always think if I go on a dog walk, that brings me so much joy. Dancing in my kitchen whilst cooking brings the joy. They're kind of, small things that probably just slip into your day to day, but whatever brings the joy for you, I think that's kind of the key.
I feel like to sum those 3 points up in 3 words, it's kind of learn, listen, grow, continue with your practice, and thrive. So learning, growing, and thriving seems to be your 3 big pointers. And I think that, again, works and links perfectly with what Blushes is all about. G, thank you so much for joining us today here at Live Life Well. We're very excited about the partnership we have with you going forwards, and introducing more wellbeing practitioners that you may not have heard from the community to you, and vice versa. And when this world finally does resemble a little bit of how it used to, hopefully bringing some in real life experiences as well. So G, we cannot wait for the launch of Blushes in the spring. It sounds like you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you ever so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.